did some damage, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and just as an advice, there will always be certain types of people that you personally cannot. It's something that you cannot control. Like, there will always be people who are not the best for your growth and emotional well-being.
Recognize that better now.
Yes.
I'm able to recognize it so much faster. So
Yes.
it makes the hurt of the relationship hurt less because I know that it's gonna be brief.
I think it's human nature to have those kind of relational issues.
I'm actually really excited because my brother-in-law's getting married next year, and his new soon-to-be wife is so awesome. So I'm so excited. I'm finally gonna have a person that I can handle being around. Because a lot of people my sister-in-law is not as cool, and my brother and I don't talk, so yeah, I don't have many people to hang around with in that respect, family-wise, so I'm excited to have somebody I can get along with.
Yes, it sounds like the best part of your relationship is with your kids.
It is. My family is my best relationship, and I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. Because it's been tough, because we've gone through a lot as our small family, and we've made it through everything, so it's really cool to just know that we're gonna be okay.
How many kids do you have?
I have two. I have a boy and a girl, and they are my son just turned 7, and my daughter is 5.
Yes, little ones.
Yeah, one's in kindergarten, one's in 1st grade, so they're both in school now, and it's so much more chaos because I get messages from both kids' teachers almost daily, and it's never bad things. It's just they earned points today in class because they were good children, and it's well, can you just tell me this at the end of the week? They're always good children, at least at school, so that's the great thing.
Yes.
I'm glad that they're to some degree frustrating at home because that means that they feel safe.
That is completely true. In psychology classes, I was taught that humans behave differently depending on situation. So that's what your kids are doing.
No, when they're at school, they behave themselves.
Yes.
And it's very awesome. Last year, my son was in kindergarten and he got the principal's award because he was just a really cool kid. Dude, what did you do? He said, I said hi to the principal every day and I gave her a hug every day before we went to before classes started, and at the end of the day, if she was in the hall, I'd hug her before I left, and I'm just you're adorable. And it's just great because they genuinely love school, so I want to keep that fire lit for them because it does them so good to just gain knowledge. Knowledge is power, and the knowledge you gain only gets greater as you get older. My children are finding that out because they're learning how to do some really cool stuff at school in science class. And the things we talk to them about at home, they kind of match the things they're saying at school, so they can answer questions and things without the teacher having to tell them anything. And they think it's the coolest thing to be able to answer questions. I love children. They've been a delight. the days that they try my patience.
That's called...
More days than I'd like to admit.
That's called psychology of punishment and reward. What they want by answering questions is they want rewards for being correct.
Yes, they do, and even when they're not correct or they're just a little bit off, they accept the fact that they're not always right, and they will entertain the information that is put forth to them. So, like, it's really cool the way we've taught our kids to be. They're like tiny adults already. It's kind of scary sometimes. Like, they can have full-on conversations with regular adults just at their school. The whole school knows them. Like, when we picked them up last week from school, which was the first time we'd ever picked them up from school, physically in the car, the person telling who had, like, there's, like, one that comes through with, like, a microphone, basically, and she radios to the secretary lady in the school to send certain kids out to be picked up from the line. And she goes, "Oh, you guys have those children. Yeah, they're pretty cool." And it just kept going. I was like, okay, great. Good to know the whole school knows our children by name already. And my daughter hasn't even been in this school for 6 months. She hasn't even been there that long. It's like, great. At least it's a good impression they're leaving. They're very straightforward kids, and they're no nonsense. And we don't do the whole Santa Claus thing. Like, we just don't do that. We don't do the Easter Bunny or the like other traditional holidays, because my husband and I feel like it's wrong to lie to our children and sugarcoat things that we would have to break their trust down the line over. And that, to me, is not cool, because I didn't like that as a kid. Personally, like, I liked the idea of it, but we've made Christmas magical in other ways. And those holidays are more, I guess, intimate for our family, because we get to do more together tasks, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And they love that over the idea of something. And my son might have told his class about a week ago Santa Claus was not real. And I may or may not have gotten a call from his teacher about it. I totally did. And she's like, "I've never had to deal with this in first grade before. I don't know what to do. Can you talk to your son, please?" I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not going to tell him he's in trouble because he told the truth." Like, I'm not going to tell him that he can't speak his own truth if that's what he truly believes, which he does. We've told him that, like, most of the Santa Claus things that they've seen are animated, so they really don't see a reason for Santa Claus to exist.
I agree.
Like, there was in history, there was somebody named St. Nicholas, and he really was a genuinely cool dude, kind of like Santa Claus, but, like, he's a dead guy now. Like, he's not still around. It's just funny when the teachers call and they're like, "You need to talk to your kids about Christmas," and it's like, no. No. They also do the creepy thing with the elf on the shelf, where it's like scaring the children into good behavior because they're being watched by a doll in the classroom. I had a teacher do that last year in my son's class, and we had to talk about it then, because my son was like, "Magic's not real, so this elf can't be magic." We had to talk about that last year. Too many things. Our son was just like, "Nah, that's an illusion." It's like, okay, 7. Calm down.
I think it was.
We're a little too real with you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I think it was unprofessional of that teacher to tell the kids to know about Christmas, because Christmas usually has a religious connotation.
Yep.
So it's wrong for a teacher to expect that from kids. Kids should be free to believe whatever they want, including atheism, agnosticism, or whatever religion.
Whatever their family believes, man.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know. We just let our kids kind of dictate their own knowledge findings.
Yes.
Like, what do you want to know? Well, I want to know about this. Okay. Well, what do you want to know about this thing? Well, I want to know if this thing does this thing, and if it does, why does it do it? And it's like, complex, but alright. Because, like, we talk about all sorts of stuff. We've even had, like, mild, like, human anatomy lessons. They've sat through my husband's human anatomy lessons and asked questions.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's great. We have really cool, like, discussions at dinner, too, because we make sure we sit down every night and have dinner together as a family. So that they get to talk about their day, and then we can have a cool discussion about some new thing they want to know.
Yes, and that sounds like you're a very involved and active parent, because I know some other parents who don't bother to sit down at the dinner table because they just simply don't have the time to have daily conversations.
Yeah, well, I think that the phrase "don't have the time" is a silly phrase, because we always have the time. We just choose to do different things with our time.
You're correct.
And I think to myself a lot, because I often will try to think that we don't have enough time. And I think there's never enough time in the day to do all the things I really want to do. But my children are important to me, and I want them to grow up comfortable with who they are, where they live, and I want them to be able to walk out of this house knowing all sorts of random things that most people would never teach their kids. Like, I want my kids to be able to cook. They're going to learn how to cook on their own very soon. Very soon. Like, my son is he's going to be 8 next year, and we plan on, like, letting him start cooking on the stove. Like, those kind of things, So, like, and our daughter, she's going to learn how to take care of lawn care equipment and her vehicle when she eventually has one, We want them to know very oddly non-gender, like, they're specific to each gender, but I want them to know the knowledge because they need it to survive. This world is crazy, and if you don't know things, it's even worse. Because I didn't know those things, and those things would have been very beneficial to have had. And knowing how to cook decent meals on a budget even is good for the children, because if they don't have a lot of money to start off with, they know how to make a good meal with $20. And it'll last them for days, Because these are the things I think about. Things I wish I knew.
Yes. Me personally, my own parents never taught me how to cook, so I'm impressed you push your children to already kind of know.
Yeah, like, we've already been, like, allowing our son to help us cut vegetables with supervision, and help us prepare dishes while we're making other parts of the dish. Like, the other night I made, it was called turkey, it was a ground turkey pasta broccoli dish. It all was cooked together, but he helped me cut the broccoli, and cook the pasta and drain it, and he helped with the turkey, and like they both helped put all the parts together and mix it together. Like we try to get them very involved in their own learning. Because it's important to us that they are happy, and that's part of what we can do to make them happy.
Yes.
And also having all the memories that we make from cooking together, and all the silly things we do while we cook together, like those things all adds up. And hopefully when they leave my doorstep, they don't feel so lost in who they are because they didn't realize how different life is outside the home. Because I didn't.
Yes. We never know what will happen after our early adulthood. Like, there's no way to know what we are going to do in next 10 years and those kind of things.
And it's so frustrating when you're asked those questions. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Well, I don't know, because in the last 10 years, nothing went to the plan I thought it was.
Oh.
Like, if things had gone to plan, I would be a mortician right now. I would be a funeral director mortician right now.
You know, it's not too late. It's not too late to go back to mortuary school. That is a.
See, but the funny thing is now I'm considering it an accelerated nursing degree. As with the idea of eventually becoming a psych nurse.
Interesting.
Specifically. Because I'll have my bachelor's in psychology next fall. Like, not this fall, but next fall, I will have my bachelor's in psychology with KSU. And then I would have to go back and get a couple classes to do requisites, but then I could go nursing. It would be a lot harder than what my husband went through, but it would be faster.
Oh, so I didn't know that masters in psychiatric nursing would accept just a bachelor's in psychology, because I thought usually they require some form of nursing degree before accepting.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I have my bachelor's, and then I'm going to get my BSN in nursing.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense.
I've accelerated the program because I already will have a bachelor's, and it will negate a lot of those gen ed classes.
Yes, makes sense.
So I only need to do the nursing portion.
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah, which I think is the direction I want to go. I have a meeting tomorrow with my advisor, and then another meeting directly after that, because everything has to happen that way, it seems.
Yes. It's good that you figured out nursing is a better fit for you than mortuary school.
It's just as chaotic as the restaurant world, if I had to be honest. It's never the same. Every day is different. You don't know what you're going to have to deal with. And I like a challenge. And if every day can be played like a game, it's even better. Because I like a good challenge.
So it sounds like you found a college that offers online BSN.
No. See, I'd have to actually take the physical classes.
Oh, okay.
But I can do that better with my children being in physical school, and soon they're going to be old enough to get off the bus without me.
Yes, soon.
And then at that point, they'll be able to go home on their own. And like, that's why we're trying to make sure they know how to cook, or at least make simple things for themselves, so that they can take care of their like after school snack, you know. And if they need to, they can make dinner without us having to worry too much. Like, of course, we will make sure that they are taken care of. But my husband, like he's starting his nursing job at the hospital just up the road from our house not too long from now, which is exciting. He's been looking forward to this for quite a while.
Wow, so 2 nurses in one family. So you and your husband is set up for future nursing.
Yeah, and our daughter wants to be a nurse too. Like she's already stated that. So like it's really cool. But like if I could become a psych nurse, that'd be cool too, because it's another challenge. It's a whole different challenge.
Yes, because there are way too many normal nurses, but then not a lot of psych nurses.
And psych nurses are in demand right now because most of the patients that are coming in are psych patients.
Yes, true.
Like that, you got so many psych patients in like the mental wards in hospitals, and you don't have enough people to handle it. Or enough people with enough knowledge to handle it, like the right specific knowledge, I should say. So like that's the direction I decided I want to go, and like I wanted to run that by my advisor, because that has some hoops of going back to the previous college I was in and reapplying to do there, or like transferring as a transient student. I don't know. That's what I gotta find out first. But I'm trying to get my plan so I can get to that point. But basically on my path to becoming a psych nurse, I'm going to have to do some like actual job of something to use my degree. So I'm thinking maybe becoming like a school nurse or health department nurse or something during that time.
Makes sense.
And then making just enough money to cover the classes, because that would be a pain in the ass. It's masters. That's masters, man. Like I gotta get a master's for that.
So am I understanding correctly? To become a psych nurse, after BSN, you for 100% need masters in nursing, but then you don't need other additional degrees.
I think if I remember correctly, you have to have it's gotta be like really specific. Give me a second. Let's see. There's Alright, so you have to, according to, no, I don't want that, to become a psychiatric mental health nurse, you would have to get your BSN, pass the NCLEX, earn a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner degree, and then have the required number of clinical experience hours and become board certified. So yeah, it takes a lot more hoops to jump through, but that's the side, like that's where I think I want to go. Because it's just, I like mental health.
Yes.
I like psychology. I like psychiatry. I've already taken psychopharmacology. So like.
With Dr. Sharon Piercy.
I liked her. She was cool. She was cool. I liked her a lot.
I took her for one class, physiological psychology.
I don't know who I had, but I had physiological psychology as well. Oh man, who was she? She was cool too. I've had a lot of cool professors at KSU. I had one that I didn't care for though. I had one that I didn't care for. She was my world civ teacher. World civilizations since the 1500s. name was Hope Ashby. I'll never take her. No, that's Hope Gam. No, there's two. They're both Hopes. What the heck? Okay. So Hope Ashby was my. She was from. That was.
Yes, clinical it is.
She was my cross-cultural psychology professor. I did not enjoy her class.
Yes, I heard that from my other psych friends too. I know it. So like I personally did not take any class with her because I avoided based on reviews. You know, all these students were like, and don't take with Hope.
Don't take Hope. Now the other professor I was talking about, she's from GHC, which is Georgia Highlands College.
Yes.
And her name was Hope Gamboa, and she was my history teacher, and I also did not do well with her class.
But as long as you didn't...
I barely pulled a C.
As long as you didn't need to retake, I'm not concerned because it sounds like you at least, got decent grades for passing grades. So...
Yeah. No, I didn't have to retake it. I got passing grades for what I was required to get, but it was a struggle to keep the grades I needed to keep. Because they just were weighted so harshly and there were no, revising options. And I just did not do well. My strong suit is not history. No, if my strong suit is anything, it is science. It's science 100%. I love science.
So are you good in all three, biology, chemistry, and physics?
I have to redo physics because the last time I did physics was in 9th grade.
Oh.
So it's been a minute.
Yes.
But I think I could do better now because I know my needs for learning math